Today's sponsor is Loot Crate. For less than $20 a month, Loot Crate gives the geek in you a special treat every month. You get a box of 6 to 8 items of gamer and pop culture licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. This month, we're cowering in fear at the returns of the Villains theme. Thanks for joining us as we celebrate our darker side with epic items from Marvel, an exclusive DC figure, a unique wearable we've never put in a crate before, it's a really big crate, and more. It's good to be bad. And when I say bad, I mean good. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And when the cutoff happens, that's it. It's over. So go to lootcrate.com/KFGames and enter code KFGames to save $3 on your new subscription today.
That'd be huge.
Second topic of the day is digital game pricing. So, Colin, once again, we have a lot of talks about video games, even when we're not on camera. It's shocking, I know. But we were talking about the pricing of digital games, and I was telling you that we get a lot of messages from users that they want us to talk about how come digital games are priced at the same price point as retail games. Retail games drop their price. Digital games usually don't unless they're on flash sales or, PS Plus and all that stuff. What are your thoughts on this?
The simplest answer, I mean, Greg and I have been talking about this for a long time. The simplest answer, and the answer is that they have to play nice with their retail partners.
GameStop, Walmart.
You can't, they understand, the publishers and the first parties understand that they could cut $15 or $20 off of a AAA game and make the same amount of money in terms of like their own rip on it, because they don't have to manufacture the disc, they don't have to have a factory to do that, they don't have to ship it, they don't have to share the money with GameStop. The reason they don't do that is just because if they fuck the retailers, then there is no way to sell the hardware, which cannot be available digitally. In other words, they don't want to make Walmart angry at them. They don't want to make GameStop angry at them. That is certainly, although they wouldn't come out and say that, that has to be the answer.
Yeah,
and it's you can't go hat in hand to GameStop if you're Sony, for instance, be like, we need you to sell PlayStation 4s. And it's really important that you sell PlayStation 4s. Exactly. And we need shelf space. We need this amount of space. And you can have all of these games too. And they're like, but your games are cheaper by 20% on your console. And they're like, oh, that's just the way it is. Then they're going to be like, well,
Xbox, we don't really front of the store. You go to the back, if we even cover you or carry you.
Yeah. So it seems weird to a lot of people, but that is certainly part of the calculus. Until they get to a position where they're totally comfortable, and maybe even comfortable with their retail partners also being comfortable in the digital space, they can't undercut them. I think the only main handheld or system that did make their digital games cheaper was Vita.
Yep, and that worked out well.
So, yeah, I mean, it's certainly, it was interesting. I was excited to see that because I thought maybe it was a sign of what was to come with PlayStation 4, but it's not time yet. The brilliance of it, though, is that, there's a middle ground to be explored with the games that are not at retail where they're cheaper. And also, games don't go on sale maybe necessarily very often if they're new on PSN or Xbox Live, but a lot of these games are significantly discounted later on, more significant than you would find them in a store. So if you're 100%. Patient, the digital storefront's where you need to be, but I don't think that they don't want to fuck around with their retail partners because it hurts the hardware business, and without the hardware, there are no games.
I mean, it's no mystery as to why you see these summer sales pop up and have all these games that are old, right? Because there is the graph of 3 months into it, you being a GameStop, your game drops off. No one's coming in to buy this game that was really, really hot in October of last year. Right now, you know what I mean? So once that's out the door and done, then yeah, nobody's caring that you put it on sale for 80% off or whatever. They just announced the PlayStation Summer Sale today. All these insane discounts, right?
Oh, I need to check that out.
Yeah, and then it is the fact of, indies can get out there and do whatever they want. Sell them super cheap, super expensive, whatever. Get in this space, inhabit it, and go. And of course you see, but yeah, what you're talking about is the answer. Whether someone will admit it or not, right? Because again, you can't piss them off in public. Say, this is what's happening. Well, Walmart's got us by the balls. You know what I mean? You look at Steam, right? Like, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo must look at Valve and Steam and be like, fuck. They are just making money hand over fist. You know what I mean? If Nintendo could be like, yeah, we should do that and just be done with it, that'd be a game changer for them and how much money they have and what people expect from them. But right now, everybody's still in this archaic system of how this all goes and where it goes from here. Yeah,
and there's certain things that need to be kept in mind. I think internet infrastructure is still a really big thing. PC gamers are typically very hardcore gamers. They buy lots of games. They have a good rig. They have good connections. But if you have a cap on your downloads or you have poor internet speeds, you're on DSL still or something like that, and the digital ecosystem is just not applicable to you yet, and so you still have to go into the store and buy these games, and that's the unfortunate truth for these people, although I think it's going to get better every day. It is getting better every day. But I do think people sometimes look at Sony charging $60 for game X, the Order 1886 on PSN, and then it's $60 in the store. And their math in their heads is correct, which is like, well, Sony should technically be making way more money on games that are sold digitally. Obviously, they are. But I don't think they're. I don't. That's what I'm saying is I don't think it's a greed move. As
You
much
don't think
as
it's malicious?
No, it's like an economic imperative move where they're like, we can't fuck with the people that are buttering our bread, basically, which are these fucking stores that proliferate millions and millions and millions of these consoles to people.
It's that thing. Mom and dad still go into brick and mortar to buy things, and the kids are still there in front of the games case, like talking about what they want. Right? It's a harder sell of like, well, I made an Amazon wish list, Mom. Like, go look for it there.
Yeah, we'll get to that point.
Sure.
I'm personally, having talked about this for years now, surprised we're not there yet, but we're not. I don't think anything's really changed in a significant manner. It's a more glacial process. In 2007, if you were like, oh, will there be games on shelves in stores still? I'd be like, no.
Oh,
You know? So but it's still not come to pass.
But I mean, yeah, I think what you're saying earlier is a big point with that, where we're, in San Francisco and we're used to how things work here, and we are in the class that we're at, where our internet is the speeds that it is and all this stuff. But yeah, like people from where you grew up probably don't have.
Well, that was the bit, like that we lose sight of what real life is like, right? Where I was at Comic-Con, I was doing that Justice League Lego panel, right? And I watched the movie. I'm like, this movie is great for kids and parents. And so I was like, I'm going to buy all my friends that back home. And I was like, because they have kids. I'm like, wait. And I texted mom, like, do you guys have a Blu-ray player? Like, and they're like, no, DVDs are good for us. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll buy DVDs. You know what I mean? But like the real... Like the Trojan horse for all of this in digital is Netflix, is Amazon. Like, you know what I mean? Those like mind-blowing experiences when I talk to my mom. She's like, oh, we're watching Netflix through, I think it started with her with the Wii. And I was like, whoa. You knew to download it. You knew how to download an app on your, you know what I mean? Like there's those little movements that get you to the point of like, well, why would I ever buy anything like this again? Why wouldn't I buy everything?
Yeah,
digital?
everyone has that come to Jesus moment too. My dad had that come to Jesus moment now, where he's buying things like movies digitally on Amazon and shows digitally.
Well, not even just digitally. I think Amazon itself is another huge push with that, where people understand, like, because for the longest time it was, oh, I'm not putting my credit card online.
Yeah. It's going to get stolen. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But now it's
and
like...
it happens all the time, but now the banks know to give you your money back.
But, I mean, it happens all the time now in the same way that happens all the time in real life. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
My credit card gets stolen way more now than when it was real life.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, for me, it's been about the same.
Okay.
But...
You're a punk-ass kid.
I am a punk-ass kid. I do a lot of punk-ass kid things, Greg. Yeah. But anyway, I think between Amazon and Netflix, there is a bit of an education going on. So these people are understanding at least what everyone else is doing, and that they can do it as well. And eventually, I think the internet will all catch up.
And that's the thing when you look at like even cable companies, right? And the Xfinity box that we have, right? The X Entertainment System and like on-demand programming, DVR.
X is going to give it to you.
X is going to give it to you. Well,
he's everywhere.
God, he is. We got to get him on this.
Omnipresent.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing of like breaking down those barriers and making people understand really what they can do.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch with my own father, where it's just like, my mom's still a little wary of she uses the computer every day and stuff, but she doesn't like do her shopping online or anything. She still has a lot of questions, which is shocking to me, but because we've been using the internet for like for a really long time now, like 20 years. But she is not as far as my dad, where my dad's like, oh, there's an Amazon app. I remember having this conversation with him, and he's like, you're just buying shit on Amazon all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 65-year-old man, and so I agree that the education's coming, but Amazon is a half step because in terms of its retail kind of thing, because again, games on Amazon are the same price as the games in GameStop, and it's the same, and they don't want to fuck it with Amazon either. That might be the retailer they want to fuck with the least,
Good point.
because Amazon's been smart enough, as has Netflix and other companies, to become a more digital storefront in addition to being a brick and mortar storefront. They're always going to have a brick and mortar presence, but you don't want to fuck with them either. I bought my PS4 off of Amazon when it came out.
I buy everything off Amazon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky kind of dance that these publishers and these hardware manufacturers have to do with these companies. Eventually, they won't have to do it. But I think the imperative is on the consumer to show those trends if that's what they want, to go more in that direction. And then I do believe games will be cheaper. First of all, games are cheaper than they've ever been, as I've said many times in the past, and that's just a fact. And I love seeing these circulars everyone puts up every once in a while, like, oh, I found the circular in a box from 1992, and the games are like $80 in 1992 money, and I'm like, see. Games are way cheaper, $60 today and $60 in 1990 are drastically different sums of money. So I think that we're going to go in that direction. But when you see study after study, as we talked about on Colin and Greg Live a week or two ago, people still love themselves those fucking retail games, man. And we are in the minority.
Yeah, no.
That
Well,
wanna
that's the thing.
download
Like when
games, period.
I learned that a long time ago. With like when we do the unboxings and I tear the box apart. People are like, why are you doing that? I'm like, who saves the boxes? In the dozens of photos that were sent of people who had walls,
Yeah.
just of all of them piled on top of each other, their collector's editions boxed up. I was like, okay.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's hard for me. I am a physical guy. I like physical
You are
things.
physical.
I am so physical. But yeah,
Tim is so
I love Blu-rays. I love having the game cases and stuff. And it's like whenever I get like in the random times where I happen to get free digital downloads of games, it kind of hurts my soul because I'm
Damn.
just like,
You're crazy.
oh, but I'm not gonna have the box, you know. And there's been times where I've bought the game again because I wanted it because I'm crazy and I'm
Yeah.
stupid, fucking stupid,
God,
and I
love
know
digital
that.
stuff, man.
And like it excites me. Like Shovel Knight, it's a perfect example. It's being released physically, and I'm stoked. I am gonna buy that.
Yeah.
I want it. Why? I already beat it. I'm enjoying it on my Vita, but I want it. And it's just like I understand that, and that there's a lot of people out there that do that. And when it comes to the boxes and stuff, like, oh my god, up until a couple of years ago, I had all my console boxes I ever had, like the SNES, N64, PS2, all that stuff. Just that beautiful blue box. But then eventually, I'm like, okay, I'm drawing the line here. Like when I moved, I was like, I'm gonna throw these away.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
And then I did, and I'm okay with that. I'm like, yeah. And thanks to eBay and stuff, if I ever for
if you
some
ever really
reason
want
need
that
it again,
stuff, yeah.
I can get it,
Yeah.
and I'll be okay. Another big question that I get a lot is, all right, if digital games aren't going to be cheaper than physical games, how come I don't get the digital game when I buy the physical game?
It's a great question.
What are your thoughts on that, Colin?
No, that's a great question. There's no excuse for that. I think it's starting to happen somewhat. I feel like I feel like there are games out there that you do get a digital code or something.
Cross
for it.
play, cross buy.
Well, I mean, Vita games, you buy the empty box.
Yeah, and you
then
get a
just
code, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that's so
weird.
awesome.
Yeah.
And by awesome, I mean stupid.
You figure, I
Yeah,
mean, like right now
wow.
it's got to be a scam thing, right? Like right now there is. I mean, I don't know anybody who's made a disc that you put into your system that takes the digital and burns it to your hard drive. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like, oh hey, I just bought the new Call of Duty and I have an extra code, so I'm gonna keep the disc. And Kevin, here's your code. You know what I mean? Like, I would imagine that's the trouble.
Yeah, that is a good
That's
point.
good, yeah.
Although that's a great point. Xbox One, now that it has backwards compatibility, is reading discs and
Sure.
then giving you the digital version of those games based on the disc in your hard drive. But again, yeah, you would have to be able to identify. Yeah, that would be bad news
Yeah.
for them. So that actually answers itself, doesn't it?
I'm sure someone's trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, if they see it, like you see with you get the Blu-ray combo pack, and you get the Blu-ray, the DVD, and the code for digital. So like they have it somewhat figured out. God only knows because I never redeem any of that crap. But
Yeah. That's really interesting. I remember the moment I realized that I was crazy was when Fire Emblem Awakening came out, and it was available digitally, but it was so rare in stores the first like 3 weeks it was available that you just couldn't find the physical. And I was just like, as much as I bought my 3DS for that game.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even have one till then. Before then, for all the other games where I play like Mario 3D Land and all that, I borrowed people's DSs and just played that way. But then I remember me and Kevin were going to like every different Best Buy, and they're like, oh yeah, we only got like one copy. And it's like, I swear to God that Nintendo like limited the amount that they shipped out to get more people to push the digital shit, because that's when they first were doing that day one digital like huge push. And it seems like it worked out for them because everyone jumped on that. But
I feel like there's going to be those moments where you stop and you're like, why would I have ever, you know what I mean? Like when I for Batman and then for WWE last year, right, where I bought them and I pre-ordered them on PlayStation and just saw the clock's counting down. I'm like, oh, okay. Fix a drink, come back, sit down. 9 o'clock, bam, I'm playing the game. You know what I mean? Whereas before, like, in your time zone, staying up till midnight to go to the store, to wait in line, to get it, to play for an hour, be blurry-eyed, go to bed, wake up, think about it all day. It's like, the future is now,
there's something
everybody.
special about that,
Embrace it. Fuck your boxes.
the future is really, really, really promising because there's things like Leaping Tiger out there.
Hey!
So, once again, Leaping Tiger is a location-based friend-finding app which provides gamers a way to instantly find and connect with each other regardless of the game or platform. Utilizing a database of games as well as your smartphone's location services, Leaping Tiger enables easy discovery of new friends you can message and arrange to team up and play with.
Almost one breath. Nice job.
Yes. So leaping-tiger.com. There's an iOS app. Otherwise, you have to go to the mobile thing on your Android or Windows phone.
Right. They're
Go
still
to
working out. They're working out the
leaping-tiger.com.
kinks. We've been helping. Obviously, they sponsored us on Patreon. Thank you so much.
And you can win a PlayStation Vita. There's the gaming nights this week. Every week we've been doing it on
Every
Wednesday nights. And this is the free game, free play week. So you can play whatever you want. It's been Rocket League. You can still play Rocket League if you want.
Sure.
There's a whole bunch of other games though. literally any game.
So download the app or go to the website.
Mm-hmm.
Jump on Wednesday, 7 o'clock Pacific time. Find other people who are, again, still one of those things where this is like, what, alpha, beta, somewhere in there kind of thing. It's not like being publicized yet, other than our stuff. So you're going to find other kind of funny fans to play with. You play with them. You're all best friends unite. You do that. One of you wins a veto.
Right now, is it still everyone playing as a kind of funny person?
I don't know.
I think it is.
I like to imagine we're sending so much traffic that it's 90% kind of funny people. Yeah.
So say what's up to some other best friends.
You're going to play
out there.
Sean Pitts, basically, is what I'm saying. He'll be there for
It's going
sure.
to be good. It's going to be good.
Sean, play.